Hey everybody, Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, and I want to welcome you to the very first episode of Magic for the Working Class. I am a working class individual, kind of like what I explained in the community post. I'll put it up here on screen. I didn't grow up with a whole lot in my home, and I know what it's like to struggle financially. I know what it's like to not be able to afford the things you want, and I think that Magic should be an economically accessible game for everyone. And I know that proxies are not always an option for every person, especially if their store doesn't allow it, their play group doesn't like it. So what Magic for the Working Class is a series where we'll be making commander decks, doing deck techs, my core thing, except for every single one of them will be under $100. That is my promise to you. Much like my regular deck techs, if you want to drop in the comments down below for one of these, I will do one every Monday, so that in a way you're not constantly bombarded by videos from me. And Lord knows nobody wants to see this ugly mug all the time. But without further ado, let's get into it. And I figured we would start off with a classic commander, and that is Krenko Mob Boss. So who's Krenko? Krenko's a 3/3. He is a two colorless double red. And then you can tap him, create X 1/1 red goblin creature tokens, where X is the number of goblins you control. So at very minimum, if Krenko is your only dude out there, he will generate 1, and then 2, and then, 3, etc. So the goal here is we're going to dump out an absolute ton of goblins, little crappy goblins from everywhere. We can't afford those high dollar ones in here, so a whole bunch of little poopy goblins, make a whole bunch of little poopy goblin tokens, and we're going to overrun our opponents. So how are we going to do that? Well, we have 30 creatures. That's some density of creatures right there, friends. We have Battle Squadron. It's a star for 5. Let me know if you've heard of some of these cards. Flying and Battle Squadron's power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures you control. When we're going to be dumping out a lot of goblins, this goblin's going to get to be big. We have Beetleback Chief. When he enters the battlefield, you get to create 2 goblins. He's a 2/2 for 4. We are running Blazing Fire Singer, which it enters prepared, and then you can Seething Song, which is pay 2 generic and a red to add 5 red mana to your mana pool. Some sort of like pseudo ramp. I would play it on turn 3, and then when you need the mana at a later point in time, use it then. Bone Club Berserker. This creature gets +2/+0 for each other goblin you control. We have Elder Auntie. When this creature enters, create a 1/1 black and red goblin creature token. Fanatic Firebrand. I see this card all the time in Arena. He's a 1/1 for 1 with haste, and you can tap and sack him to deal 1 damage to any target. We have Foundry Street Denizen. He's a 1/1 for 1, and whenever another red creature enters the battlefield under your control, he gets +1/+1 until end of turn. This gets enormous in conjunction with Krenko. It still trips over elves, but he gets enormous. We have Frenzied Goblin. Whenever this creature attacks, you pay a red. If you do, target creature can't block this turn. These sort of effects will pop up here a lot. We have Goblin Arsonist. When he dies, you can have it shoot something for 1. Goblin Churgan. Whenever you can pay 0 to sacrifice a goblin to regenerate target creature. You don't want to do this so that way your Krenko doesn't die. I have a whole bunch of these sitting in a pile somewhere in all my old bulk. We have Goblin Glasswright. He enters prepared, and then he has Craft with Pride, which is you get to create a treasure token. Goblin Instigator. When he enters the battlefield, you get to create a token. Goblin Lookout. Sack a goblin. All goblins get +2/+0 until end of turn. Not terrible. It's like a tiny little overrun effect. Goblin Matron. When it enters the battlefield, you can search your library for a goblin card, reveal that card, and put it into your hand. And then shuffle. It's a Goblin Tutor. Goblin Motivator. Target creature gains haste until end of turn. Goblin Rabble Master. Other goblins you control attack each combat if able at the beginning of combat on your turn. Create a 1/1 red goblin creature token with haste, and whenever a goblin Rabble Master attacks, it gets +1/+0 till end of turn for each other attacking goblin. Goblin Ringleader. When he enters the battlefield, reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all goblin cards revealed this way into your hand, and the rest at the bottom of your library in a random order. Or sorry, in any order. My goodness. Goblin Trailblazer. He has Menace, so a little bit of dodgy. We have Goblin Warchief. One of the original Goblin Lords. Goblins cost 1 less. Goblins have haste. We have Grenzo, a card that's been growing on me quite a bit. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, choose one. Go to target creature that player controls, or exile the top card of that player's library. Till end of turn, you can cast that card and you can spend mana or mana of any kind to cast it. We got Krenko, Tin Street Kingpin, which is whenever he attacks, put a 1/1 counter on it, then create a number of red goblin creature tokens equal to his power. Legion War Boss, he has Mentor, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token. It gains haste until end of turn and attacks this combat if able. We have Mog War Marshal. He enters or dies, create a red goblin. He also has Echo, so if you don't pay the 2 mana, he will die. We have Pashalik Mons. Yes, this thing does combo, but we don't have the combo piece in here. When it or another goblin dies, Pashalik Mons deals 1 damage to any target, and you can sacrifice a goblin to create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. We have Seer Slicer Goblin. Raid at the beginning of your end step. If you attack this turn, create a goblin. Siege Gang Commander. He poops out 3 goblins when he enters, and you can pay 2 to sack 1 to deal 2 damage to any target. We do have Skirk Prospector, so we can sacrifice a goblin to add red. This is a way for Pashalik Mons to shoot a lot of things. We have Squee, Dubious Monarch. When he attacks, create a 1/1 goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking, and then you can cast him from your graveyard by paying 4 and exiling 4 other cards from your graveyard rather than paying his mana cost. Torch Courier, he's a haste creature. You can sack him to have another creature gain haste. And then Underfoot Underdogs, whenever this creature enters, create a 1/1 goblin, and then you can tap 1, attack a creature you control with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. Sorceries. We got ourselves Cleaver Riot, which is creatures you control gain double strike until end of turn. What better way to make your little tiny dudes ferocious than to have them hit twice? We have Dragon Fodder, create 2 red goblins. Empty the Warrens, creates 2 red goblins and has Storm. When we can cast a whole bunch of stuff, Empty the Warrens can do a whole bunch of fun things. Goblin Gathering, create a number of red goblin creature tokens equal to 2 plus the number of cards named Goblin Gathering in your graveyard. Spoiler, you're just going to get 2 goblins out of this. Goblin Negotiations, it deals X damage to any target, or to target creature. Create a number of 1/1 goblin equal to the amount of excess damage. Goblin Offensive, put X goblins into play, treat them as 1/1 red creatures. We have Goblin Rally, put 4 goblin tokens into play. Goblin War Party, you get to create 3, or creatures you control get +1/+1. If you pay the Entwine cost, which will cost you a whole whopping 7, you get to do both. Goblin War Strike deals damage equal to the number of goblins to you control to target player. Hoarding Outburst creates 3 goblins. Krenko's Command creates 2 goblins. And Mob Justice deals 1 damage to target player for each creature you control. We are going to dump out so many creatures and then, pop people. We have Instance, we have a Braid, it pops an artifact or deals 3 damage to a creature. Also, this art is beautiful. We have Battle Hymn, you get a, not of the Republic, by the way, and you get a red mana for each creature you control. Brightstone Ritual, add 1 red mana to your mana pool for each goblin in play. So these 2 get you a whole bunch of mana to keep your stuff moving. Cast Warp Removal, demand answers, sack an artifact, or discard a card, draw 2. Expedite is a creature gets haste, draw a card, use this on your Krenko. Goblin Surprise, creatures you control get +2/+0, or create 2 goblins. Goblin Wizardry, you get to create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens with prowess, which is pretty cool. We have ourselves a Last Ditch Effort, sacrifice X creatures. It deals X damage to target creature or player. Lightning Strike deals 3 damage to any target. Lightning Bolt, same thing. Massive Raid deals damage to target creature or player equal to the number of creatures you control. Outnumber deals damage to target creature equal to the number of creatures you control. You notice a theme with a lot of these cards. This will help get you some creature removal, and since goblins are really small and dorky, and we don't have a lot of the we don't have the goblin lords that pump them up, we have to find other ways to get in there with lots of damage, and this is our way. And then we also see a pair of goblins. Look at them. You can either give creatures you control +2/+0, or create 2 red goblins. Look familiar? It's the same card. It's literally the same card. Artifacts, we have Hazoret's Monument. Makes your red dudes cost less, and when you cast a creature spell, you can discard a card. If you do, draw Skull Clamp to let us draw cards. Enchantments. We have Goblin Bombardment. Let's just sack a creature. This enchantment deals 1 damage to any target. It goes really well with Passionate Bonds. Goblin War Drums. Each attacking creature you control that opponent chooses to block may not be blocked with fewer than 2 creatures. Essentially gives everything menace. Impact Tremors. Whenever a creature you control enters, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Raid Bombardment. Whenever a creature you control power 2 less attacks, it deals 1 damage to that player or planeswalker that creature is attacking. And then Rising of the Day, which gives creatures you control have haste, and legendary creatures you control get +1/+0. Lands. This is really simple. Secret Tunnel, Rogue's Passage to do some unblockable stuff. And then we have 34 mountains. We are running 36 lands in this, which seems a little low, but a lot of our goblins are really cheap. So 75-46. That's what this comes in at. It's a fun sounding deck. Goblins are some of people's first things. It's pretty straightforward. Let's see ourselves a hand, shall we? So let's zoom out by 1. We have ourselves a 2-land hand. We got Skirk Prospector in here. Let's draw for our turn. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to drop Skirk Prospector on turn 1. Next turn, we draw a mountain. You know, I could sack this goblin to give me 1 red mana, but I'm not. I'm going to sit for this turn. This turn, I'm going to drop 3. I'm going to drop a Legion War Boss. And so now we move to combat on our turn, and this creates ourselves a goblin token. We have ourselves a goblin token. Look at that. And it attacks. Okie dokie. Next turn, we're going to play a mountain. And what we're going to do here is we are going to probably... I'm going to go ahead and play Krenko. We're going to run him out. And then, you know, at the beginning of combat on your turn, this dude attacks each turn if able. We add another goblin who's attacking. So now we have 2 goblins out there with that. Next turn, we go like this, and we can tap, well, you know, you don't want to tap him quite yet. We could, you know, say run out Goblin Trailblazer or Goblin Rabble Master. We'll do the Rabble Master. And then at the beginning of combat on our turn, we will generate these 2 tokens. So we'll get 2, and then we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, generating 8 more goblins. Next turn, you know, we can hit them with Battle Hymn to get us a bunch of mana to play everything in our hand. You know, see, there we go. But that was the first episode of Magic for the Working Class. That doesn't have to be the permanent title. It's just, you know, the one I did for now. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Again, this will be every Monday. We will have this. I have a whole bunch of them ready to go for the next few Mondays. Look at that. Me actually getting stuff done ahead of schedule. That's not very much like me. But, as always, I am Weston with the Hidden Gibbon. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.